Welcome to the WION Podcast.
Great to be here.
You know, there's been quite a bit of chatter lately, hasn't there, about advanced AI?
Definitely. Especially large language models, the tech behind tools like ChatGPT.
Right, and this question keeps coming up. Could they, actually pose some kind of existential threat?
It's a serious question, and it's on a lot of people's minds. Actually, some researchers in the UK and Germany recently decided to really dig into this.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, they conducted a massive number of experiments, thousands apparently.
Thousands? Wow.
Yeah, really trying to test the limits, see what these AI systems can actually do.
Okay, so what was the verdict? Did they find, like, a hidden superintelligence waiting to emerge?
Well, it's interesting. Their conclusion was maybe a bit different than you might expect.
Yeah.
They found that while these LLMs are incredibly sophisticated with language...
Yeah, we see that every day.
Exactly. And they're good at following instructions.
Yeah.
But they seem to hit a wall when it comes to truly mastering completely new skills.
A wall? You mean they can't just learn anything?
Not without explicit teaching, it seems. They need guidance. They don't just spontaneously develop new complex abilities outside of what they're prompted or trained to do.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit, because sometimes it looks like they understand things pretty deeply.
Right, it can seem that way. But the research suggests that what often looks like knowing something new is actually, well, it's more like cleverly applying patterns.
Patterns from their training data.
Exactly, or from examples given right in the prompt. It's something called in-context learning. They use the examples to figure out how to do a similar task.
Okay. So, like, if I gave you a few examples of translating French to English, you could probably translate another similar French sentence.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you suddenly speak French fluently or understand all the grammar rules just from those examples.
That's actually a really good analogy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like skilled mimicry based on the immediate context, rather than deep, generalizable understanding or reasoning.
Gotcha. So, because they rely on this sort of guided, example-based learning, the researchers are saying that this need for guidance is why they don't see them as an existential threat. Because they can't just go rogue and teach themselves world domination skills.
That seems to be the core of their argument, yes.
Yeah.
This inherent need for, let's say, external input or instruction acts as a kind of constraint. They need us to sort of point the way for new types of tasks.
That's actually quite reassuring in a way. It shifts the focus, maybe.
How so?
Well, less about fearing a spontaneous AI uprising and maybe more about how we choose to develop and guide these tools responsibly.
Precisely. It highlights the difference between, superficial task completion, even very complex tasks, and genuine independent reasoning or skill acquisition.
So to sum it up, the research suggests LLMs are amazing language processors, great instruction followers.
But they lack that ability to truly master novel skills without being explicitly taught.
And this reliance on guidance is key to why these researchers concluded they don't currently pose an existential threat.
Yeah, that distinction between what looks like knowing and what's actually clever pattern matching via in-context learning is... well, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it raises a really important question, I think, for you listening. How should this understanding, this idea of AI's current limitations, shape how we think about its future, its development, regulation?
It certainly gives us a different angle to consider as we navigate all this. Food for thought.
Absolutely. We'll be exploring more intriguing stories like this one right here.
Looking forward to it.
Stay tuned to the WION Podcast.